Hey guys, this is part 2 of the Kieran theory video, and on this video I will be explaining all the clues that might indicate that Kieran probably could be the killer in season 2. Now let's get right into it. I believe that there potentially could be 2 killers this season. On one of the latest episodes, episode 7, we see that before Miss Lang is attacked, we see a dying Seth Branson at the school. Now, after the killer attacks Miss Lang and throws her off the stairs, the killer notices someone approaching and decides to go upstairs. And in a matter of 10 seconds after that happened, the janitor goes and checks on Miss Lang to see if she's okay, and we can hear a loud thud noise of a door slamming on the first floor. Later on the episode, we find Seth Branson at the house where Eli and Emma are at. And I'm thinking, how did Seth Branson ended up at the house? He was at the school. It is physically impossible for someone to actually grab Seth Branson in a matter of 10 seconds. The killer was upstairs and would actually have to find another set of stairs, go back down, grab Seth, and then escape out of the school in just 10 seconds. I believe that there potentially could be 2 killers, and that Eli, if he is the killer, he has an accomplice. Now it's time for me to explain the clues that might indicate that Kieran is the killer this season. One of the first things that Jake tells Emma on episode 1 of season 2 is, "Welcome back, Girl Interrupted." Now if you saw that episode, then you should know Jake was attacked, and after Jake was attacked sometime later, we see that the place where Jake is being held captive, we see a note that says, "See what you can do with a boy interrupted?" Then that lets me know that the killer was actually present at the party. If you've been watching season 2, then you should know that the killer also has the habit of keeping the phones of the people the killer attacks, such as Jake's phone. On episode 5, during the school lockdown, we see Emma discovering that Jake's phone is in her bag. Now, how did that happen? The only time that could possibly happen was when Emma was distracted, and the only time Emma was distracted was during the school assembly where Jake's body fell from the banner. Kieran was sitting next to Emma, and while Emma was probably stunned and shocked, a lot of people were standing up, including probably her. Kieran took the opportunity and placed Jake's phone inside her bag. Now, another thing that I have to mention is that moments before the banner drops and Jake's body falls, is the smile that Kieran gives. If you see it, if you go back and see it, Kieran actually smiles. And it's strange because Kieran doesn't smile that much. It's so rare to see Kieran smile. But it's not just any smile, it's a smile, a naughty smile, like he did something wrong. And he knows he did it. You'll see that before the banner drops, the other characters, Noah, Audrey, they aren't really smiling. It's so weird. I have noticed that Kieran hasn't been around a lot when the attacks are happening. He wasn't around when Jake was attacked, or he was also around when the motel receptionist Eddie Kruger was attacked. Not to mention he was also around when Miss Lang was attacked and when Eli and Emma were at the real estate home that got burned. On episode 6, Emma, Noah, and Audrey are at the fairgrounds, and Emma finds the killer at the fairgrounds and they begin to run. And in the similar direction where the killer is, out of nowhere, Kieran appears. And he tells them that apparently, he was actually following Emma. But if you've been watching season 2, then you should notice that the killer is a really tall person, and he might actually be a male. There's a high chance the killer in this season could be a male. But one of the most important clues that can prove that Kieran is the killer has to be on the latest episode, episode 8. We have noticed that Kieran and Eli have been arguing a lot lately. On episode 8, we see Kieran attack Eli publicly, and after that Eli disappears. And later on in the episode, it's already nighttime at the carnival. Emma gets a phone call from Kieran's phone, and it's the killer, and the killer tells Emma that he has Kieran, and even sends Emma a video clip of Kieran abducted with duct tape on. Emma goes and searches for Kieran at the attraction where Kieran apparently is at. The killer even also sent Audrey a video clip of Emma going inside the amusement park. But if you actually see the scene where Emma goes inside the amusement park, if you slow it down, if you pause it the moment she gets in, you'll notice that behind her there are people. There are actually people there. So the killer was not the one following Emma inside the amusement park. Somebody was helping out the killer. The killer had an accomplice. When Emma goes inside the attraction, one of the deputies also follows Emma inside. The killer attacks the deputy and throws him through a glass mirror. Now, I said it before, the killer is a tall person and he seems to be very strong. It could be Kieran. Now, by the time that Emma finds the deputy, she gets a hold of the gun and she tries to shoot at the killer, but shoots the mirror, and the killer flees from the attraction, and Emma follows the killer. And when the killer goes outside, it turns out it was actually Kieran. Kieran was unmasked and he was duct taped, and he was holding the knife of the killer, and he had duct tape also on his wrist. But couldn't it be possible that maybe Kieran was the killer and that he actually had the duct tape already under the mask? And we see the duct tape on his wrist when the cops go and reach and they actually search it. They search him. We see it. If the killer was telling Audrey about what was going on, then obviously the killer wanted to be caught. The killer wanted people to believe that Kieran was the one under the mask. It's obvious that Kieran wants people to believe that he's innocent. Also, after that same scene where Kieran is unmasked, Kieran spends most of his time persuading Emma, convincing her that he was innocent and that he actually felt like he was going to die. If he was really the victim, he would have told the cops what happened and how it happened. But who do I believe is Kieran's accomplice? There are two main possibilities. It's either going to be Kieran's cousin Eli, or it probably could be Gustavo. I'm not sure about Gustavo, but there's a high chance it could be Eli, since Eli wasn't around when Kieran was kidnapped. Eli was probably the one who was recording Emma going inside the attraction. Now I want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys think that there potentially could be two killers this season? If you think about it, it's been about 20 years since the first Scream movie came out, and I think that maybe, just maybe, they might actually try to replicate the Billy and Stu thing, and they're trying to do it with Kieran and somebody else. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, this has been my theory on Kieran. If you like these types of videos, please let me know, and comment down below if you want more theory videos. I am planning on releasing another theory video, hopefully by next week, about the killer and what do I believe, or who do I believe the killer will try to frame. We are only 4 episodes left before the season finale of season 2. Thanks for watching, guys.